This is the funniest school prank ever played. Kids go to school as usual. They're learning math, science, history, and all that. But something is different today. Something weird is going on. The students start feeling it when they look up. Their classroom is upside down. Everything is upside down. All their books, all their notes, everything is stuck to the ceiling now. And when they look outside, they see that the entire school is upside down. It was the biggest school building in town. It had 3 floors with a big playground in front. But now the whole school is hanging from the ceiling. Kids were shocked at first, but then started screaming and running around like crazy. Some of them started walking on the walls and ceilings because they didn't know what else to do. Of course, this was extremely dangerous, but also the funniest thing they'd ever experienced. A girl was walking on the ceiling when she suddenly slipped and fell on her teacher's desk. Another boy was trying to open his locker, but it wasn't easy to reach the handle while standing on the wall. He ended up falling on top of his backpack and knocking himself out. A third kid tried to be cool and do a backflip on the ceiling, but he just ended up hanging there upside down. He was so embarrassed. Other kids couldn't help but laugh. Meanwhile, the principal was inside his office. He turned upside down along with the rest of the school building, but he was busy talking on the phone with another principal from a neighboring town. When he finally hung up, he realized how bad the situation was. He quickly ran to the window and saw the kids walking on the walls and ceilings. What the hell is going on here? The principal yelled, but no one could hear him, because everyone was too busy flipping out over the fact that their school was literally flipped upside down. The principal had an idea. He grabbed a megaphone from the janitor's closet and went outside. "Attention, students," he said through the megaphone. "I don't know what's happened, but I'm pretty sure someone has rigged the school to flip upside down. If you don't want to end up like this forever, I suggest you stay on the ground." Most of the kids stopped what they were doing and stared at the principal, who was hanging upside down from the ceiling. But some of the kids thought it was hilarious. They kept walking on the ceiling and pretending to be astronauts. The principal sighed. He knew it was gonna be a long day. The day started off slow. Most of the kids stayed on the floor and just watched the ceiling. But as time went by, more and more kids got bored and started walking on the walls and ceilings. It was like a never-ending game of dodgeball. Every time, the principal tried to walk between 2 classrooms without getting hit. He ended up slipping and sliding all over the place. He tried to call the police, but they couldn't do anything about it. The police station was upside down too. The cars were upside down, the desks were upside down, even the donuts were upside down. The principal gave up on calling the police and instead focused on keeping the kids safe. He walked around the school and made sure no one was seriously injured. He also tried to come up with a plan to fix the problem, but nothing seemed to work. He tried asking the kids if anyone knew how to switch the building back, but no one did. He tried calling an electrician, but the electrician was busy working on the power lines that were dangling from the sky. Finally, the principal had an idea. He went to the school nurse and asked her to get all the bubble gum from the lost and found. Then he took all the bubble gum and started sticking it to the bottom of the kids' shoes. "What are you doing?" one of the kids asked. "Just do it," the principal said with a wink. The kids were confused, but they did as they were told. The principal then went to the cafeteria and turned on the intercom. "Attention, students," he said. "In 5 minutes, we're gonna be switching the school building back to normal. In order to do that, you need to stick to the bottom of your shoes." The kids were excited and immediately started chewing their bubble gum. In 5 minutes, every single student had bubble gum stuck to the bottom of their shoes. The principal pressed the intercom button again. "Now is the time," he said. Jump as high as you can. All the kids jumped. At first, the school building didn't move, but then slowly it started to flip back to normal. The kids were so happy. Finally, they could go home. As soon as the school building was flipped back to normal, the kids ran to the windows and looked outside. They were shocked to see that everything was upside down. Their houses were upside down. Their streets were upside down. Even the clouds were upside down. The kids started screaming and running around the classroom. Again, but now they were panicking. The principal tried to calm them down, but it was hard to take them seriously when he was hanging upside down from the ceiling. Don't worry, he said. I'll figure something out. And he did. The principal went to the roof and saw that there was a big crane nearby. He signaled to the crane operator and asked him to lift the school building back up. But when the crane started lifting the school building, it started to tilt to one side. The principal screamed, "Stop!" But it was too late. The school building crashed to the ground and landed on its side. All the kids were shocked. They didn't know what to do. The principal was hanging upside down from the ceiling again, but this time he had an idea. He took off his jacket and used it as a parachute. He jumped out the window and landed on the school building. Everyone stay calm, he said. I've got a plan. He divided the students into teams and started giving them instructions. You're gonna push the building back to its original position, but you need to do it slowly and carefully. The kids were scared, but they trusted their principal. They pushed and shoved until the school building was back in its original position. But it wasn't over yet. The principal had to make sure the building was stable before letting the kids inside. He checked the windows, doors, and walls to make sure they were all secure. Then he let the kids back into the school. They were so happy to be inside the school again, even though it looked a little different than they remembered. The principal was exhausted, but he was also proud of his students. They had worked together to fix a problem that no one had ever experienced before. And that is the story of how the school was flipped upside down and the kids had to walk on the ceiling for an entire day. If you like this story, please leave a like and subscribe for more funny videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.